Your event is starting. Do I have to hit it live over here too? Oh, looks like you're live. Nope, we are live. All right, so we still got about a minute till we actually are going to do the live that we promised. Hopefully, I'm not even sure how many people are going to be here. So anyway, we'll go ahead and start. This is a morning coffee with Paige Pierce. So what we're doing is we're kind of combining three different things. We're going live. We're sitting down having some coffee with Paige Pierce. She's going to sign some of these Moonshine Burst deputies that are going to be available for our retailers. And we're going to ask some questions, some disc golf questions of Paige that we posted out on Reddit. Well, before we start that, we do have some people. Good morning. Good morning to Rec Rob and Rick and Country Disc Golf. So, we've got some people joining in. That's awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. First, let's start with the important question. What kind of coffee you got there, Paige?
Hazelnut.
Hazelnut? Mm-hmm. Nice. Is that home brew, or did you get it like at Starbucks or something?
No, Keurig K-Cups, for life on the go.
I got you. Now, do you have one in your van you're turning?
No. When I'm traveling, I have a French press.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. All right, so we got that. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker. I hope I don't make you coffee drinkers mad, but I don't have a coffee. I don't drink coffee. This is just water with some orange flavor stuff in it, so add a little zip to my morning. Now, I do go to Starbucks sometimes and get their Starbucks refreshers.
Oh,
the strawberry
nice, yeah.
acai or however.
Acai.
Those are really good. And when we travel and we go to Starbucks, 'cause everybody else drinks their coffee, I get those because they're flavored, but they have a little caffeine in it. So
that's my caffeine. They had caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's my caffeine kick. So on to the next thing is that we have these Moonshine Burst deputies, and they've got this really cool double P deputy bar stamp on there. Moonshine, yes, you heard me right. These glow. They don't look quite like they'd be a glow disc, but they do glow in the dark. I know Paige was telling me before we started recording that a couple people were inventorying these and thought, hey, these are moonshine, and turned off their office lights, and they said they had a stack of them that was just glowing really nice. So these should glow pretty good. We got them in this really cool pink color. Paige Pierce's favorite green here. Of course, it's got the nice burst on it.
A little turquoise.
And then a blue, kind of a sky blue here. Really cool burst colors going on here. So she's going to sign these, and while she signed these, I already posted on Reddit to get some questions, and we'll ask the questions. We're going to go for about an hour or so hopefully you'll be able to tune in. If not, you can check it back later once YouTube re-encodes it and puts it out there for people. And then also you can subscribe to discgolfanswerman.com on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all the podcast places, because I'll grab the audio and put it out there. That way, if you're the kind of person that likes to listen to this stuff while you work out or while you're putting practice or whatever you're doing, awesome, that you just want to have the audio. Cool?
Cool.
Well, I'll let you get started with that stack. It's going to be real casual, informal, so you might see me grab some discs over here. You might see Paige leave for a second as she puts stacks of discs over there, but we'll get right into the questions, and we'll let her get to signing. All right, so
Oh my gosh, those are all questions?
Yes, these are all questions and comments and stuff like that. So I'm going to actually see if I can sort them by top comments so we can get through the ones that people like the most.
Never been on Reddit.
You've never been on Reddit? There's a lot of people on the disc golfer has 55,000 followers. The subreddit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people on there, and you see a lot of mail call posts, a lot of check my form posts, and all kinds of different posts and stuff like that. This first one is from Disc Thrower 7. He says, I know she doesn't win every tournament, however, but does she wish there was tougher competition? Basically, we almost see the same lead card every tournament with Paige winning a majority of them, sometimes by a large margin in the women's division. I mean that with no disrespect to other pro women who would obviously destroy me in all rounds.
I like the last sentence.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I think just because the same people are there doesn't mean it's not tough competition.
Right.
The people that I play against often on those league cards are great competition. I do wish there was more, of course, but that's just part of like growing ladies disc golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish there was more, I would say, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, this one's from Johnny P. You're almost always caddying for a friend/teammate on the same days you are playing your rounds, which I think is awesome. What would you say are the advantages and disadvantages of this, if there are any?
I don't think there's any disadvantage besides maybe just being a little more worn out than I would if I didn't walk. But what am I going to do in Jonesboro, Arkansas? Just go sit in the car and wait. So I think it's 95% advantage. And I think you get to just, when you watch disc golf, I think a good way to learn is this, like the shot selection and what lines any given player's taking. And I don't know, it's just fun to go cheer on and support my friends and kind of watch them try to succeed and achieve all their goals. It's really fun.
Now, I just thought of a question. So when do you kind of look at, so let's say day one is over, you've already played your round, and you walk with, a teammate or something like that. Do you ever go, oh gosh, I should have done that line? Or does that help you discover maybe new lines or maybe things you hadn't seen?
Definitely. But I'm not going to like change that in the tournament.
Right. That's good.
But like for next time, or just to kind of like open my eyes to other options and like build up like my repertoire. What is that? And there's certain strengths that certain players have that I don't. So it's cool to just watch them and try to put that to the test on the practice field.
I remember when we were playing, though, I know your mindset is always in the game because I can't remember where we were at or what round it was or whatever.
That one is. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're fine. Is that somebody was putting and they laid up and you came up to me and you said, you got to go for that. You always got to go for that in that situation.
Lisa at the Memorial. We already talked about that multiple times.
Really?
Me and Lisa.
Okay, but I just thought, well, man, Paige is always in that game mode, that mindset, so it's cool.
Got to go for it.
Johnny had a follow-up question. Let's see. While caddying, have you ever stopped your player to reconsider something, or do you only offer advice if asked? That's a good question.
I'm pretty outspoken, but I try to only do it if they ask. Sometimes I've caught myself like giving advice when I might not be needed, but so I try to, as much as I can, to not say anything unless they ask. That's how I'd prefer it for my caddies, so I try to do the same, and they know I'm there to help if they need anything. So yeah.
So you said that's how you prefer, because there are often times where I'm out taking pictures of you, and for whatever schedule reasons or something like that, there's no one really caddying for you. And I know a lot of times it seems you like to talk through your shots.
Yeah,
and what
I'm always talking through it. Sometimes it's to myself, though.
But what do you prefer as far as your caddy? You prefer them to only speak when spoken to type thing, or you appreciate the advice?
I like to just, I don't know how to describe it, but I like it to be, if I say what I'm intending to do, I find myself executing it more accurately.
Yeah.
So usually I'll just talk through what angle I'm looking at, what line I'm looking at, and maybe I'll throw a little question at the end just to like solidify, that it's a good decision. But mostly just kind of like talking through it and making sure it makes sense and is the smart play.
Excellent. We'll take a few comments here from the live YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in on YouTube Live. Let's see. David says, good morning from Massachusetts, and congratulations on your 100th PDGA win.
Thank you.
Let's see.
From Massachusetts, huh?
Tommy
We're headed there
Four-Finger-
on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Never thrown a DD disc. What is the best disc to start with? James Taylor asks.
I can't limit it to one, so I'll go putter. I would say Deputy.
Never.
Mid-range, I would say EMAC Truth. I should probably elaborate. Deputy, it's just the straightest putter on the market, hands down. And so when you release it, you know what you did wrong if you did anything wrong. It just is so true to its flight. You know exactly what the error was. The EMAC Truth for the mid, it's so straight and it's very universal. If you put some hyzer on it, it'll push forward with that hyzer. And if you put a little turn on it, it'll do the same that way. Fairway driver, definitely the Lucid Convict in my opinion. It's just like the EMAC Truth in that description I just gave, but a little bit longer. And then for driver, I really love the Biofusion Defender. It's like stiff and domey, so it gets a lot of glide and distance. And there's a good amount of overstability at the end, so you can kind of crank on it and it'll come back
Excellent. Flip Flap says, I'm trying to work some dynamic disc into my bag. What flies similar to a leopard?
A leopard. I would say probably like Fury. Oh, a DD disc. Let's go with maybe like the new Maverick, actually.
Yeah.
Which is hitting stores like April 4th-ish.
Yes, the first the stock stamps, I believe.
Yeah.
Around that time, yeah.
So maybe
today at 11 a.m. Central is the first run Mavericks and first run Captains. The
Boom.
stock stamps
They
should
go
be in a
live
couple
today
weeks.
or what?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So today, check out DD. Or if you want the stock stamps, wait just a week, and I would say definitely the Maverick.
All right, so we're going to hop back to some Reddit questions, and then I'm going to grab some stack of discs for Paige.
Hold on, let me read this.
We're going to go to, there you go. Would you consider yourself a technique junkie, or did your form just develop naturally over the course of your career?
A technique junkie. I've never considered myself that, but now that I'm reading that question, I think it was just natural. Since I've been playing since I was like 4, there's been lots of changes over time, but I think they all came naturally. As the disc was coming out incorrectly, I tried to just fix whatever was going on. So, yeah, I think I would say just naturally.
Excellent. What is your biggest hurdle to hitting that 1,000 rating?
Consistency. I think that's a given in the rating system. You have to be very consistent because your ratings stay on there for a year. So if I have a bad round, it stays on there for 365 days, and I don't get to redeem that until the following year at that same tournament. So I think just staying consistent the entire year round and knocking out those like sub 900 rounds that you get occasionally when it's cold or you're just having an off day.
All right, so we're going to hop back over to our YouTube, see if we got some questions here. So give me just a second. Paige, if you could create any disc, what would it be? More overstable mid or less stable fairway?
So it's limited to those two?
According to his question, yeah.
Okay. More overstable mid.
Or he says, for example, more overstable.
Oh, for example. Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't want to like take the easy way out, but honestly, I don't feel like I need one. Like, I don't have any gaps in my bag personally. I have every disc I could need. And even more so than my bag, like the warehouse is like, how many molds do you think are out there?
Oh, jeez. I wouldn't even want it.
But between the Trilogy family, I mean, Latitude, Westside, and DD, we have more than enough molds that you could ever use, but somehow we still keep coming out with more. So I think there isn't one.
Let's see. Charles says, good morning. Paige is awesome and wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Joe wants to know, what is in Massachusetts? Is there a tournament here that you were playing?
Oh, Tina and I are headed to Nantucket to plan their wedding. They're getting married on Nantucket in just before Worlds, but neither of them have even been to Nantucket, so we're headed there to just kind of scope out some locations and stuff. Excellent.
Let's see. What would you say has been the highlight of your 28th season at this point? Of course, it's only April.
Yeah,
you
just
really
started.
Just started the big stuff.
I would say Waco, though. It was just a super roller coaster, and as much as I hated the downs, the ups were so good, and it just kept me on my toes the whole round, and I love the battles, so it was fun to come from behind and make it interesting and take it to the very last putt.
Excellent. Matthew says, woo.
Woo.
Let's see. Bill says, good morning, Paige. I'm a big fan of you. I hope you have a great season. UDT Pup 23, when does the getaway release? The getaway is going to be around GBO-ish time, so late April, early May is my understanding. How do we get one of these signed discs? I'm sure it's been said. I'm just late to the party. No worries. Actually, we haven't actually said yet. So let me check because I had the official word. I want to make sure I get this official. I got the official word from Jeremy Rusko.
I know they're wholesale.
Yes. So what it is that they will be on the next wholesale release, which is on April 4th. So if you are a store owner or if you know a store owner, you need to let them know that these signed Moonshine Burst deputies will be available for the stores to order. And so that is actually along with the release of, we talked about earlier, the stock stamp release of the Captain and the Maverick. And then those will be available. They'll start shipping April 4th to the stores, and then they'll be available shortly in retail stores. So around the April 7th, 8th, around that time, they should be ready to go in your local, your favorite retail store. Let's get back to the Reddit questions. Let's see. You noticed, you said something about Waco being a challenge for you. Someone actually asked about it. What was going through your mind during the last 2 holes of Waco?
Just about everything you could think of. Yeah, and actually, Bobby got some really good video of it too, like kind of behind the scenes type. But yeah, I took the lead on the 3rd to last hole. And I was up by 2. And so going on to hole 17, I just wanted to get off that with a 5 or better. So I thought that was pretty obtainable, especially after my drive. That was the best spot I had put myself in up to that point. But where I landed was right behind the 2 trees. So I had too many options. And that late in the game, I didn't want to even have to think. I just wanted to throw it. And chose the wrong option, and it just errored. And I just thought, like, that was the worst thing I could have done in that moment.
You even said that out loud.
Yeah.
I remember you walking by saying that is the worst possible thing that could have happened.
Yeah, I just jump putted it straight out of bounds. My other thought, which is in hindsight, actually in that moment too, I was thinking I should throw my felon up over the top, but I'm probably going to go a B. But on that shot, I was probably going to go B no matter where I threw it. And at least with the felon, I could have been OB by the basket. Yeah. And where I went OB, I still had, 4 shots to get it in. So then on the putting green, I just, let the nerves get to me and missed a very routine putt. And yeah, on hole 18's tee pad, I just, on the walk from 17's green to 18's tee pad, I just took some deep breaths and tried to remove myself from everybody and just gather my thoughts. And I walked up to the little road right there, and I saw Eric Oakley, and I had 2 discs in my hand, and he said, "What are you thinking? What's your play?" And I said, "I'm going to birdie this." And he said, he pointed at my defender, because I had my Ballista Pro and my defender, and he just pointed at it, and he gave me a hug, and he said, "Do it." And I didn't watch the other 3 girls throw. I just knew what I needed to do no matter what Sarah did at that point. And I just threw it as hard as I could, and I knew the stability of the defender would work to my advantage and hyzer back by the basket, and it did. I was just in between circle 1 and circle 2, and I started walking, and we got stopped quickly because Hokum went OB right there. I guess all of y'all saw that, but I did not. And so with her going out of bounds, it kind of took the 4 out of play from where she was. So she was going to get a 5 at best. And I knew I could just lay that putt up over there and go into a playoff, but I don't love playoffs. So I still wanted to birdie it. And yeah, I guess that was a long answer because there was so many different emotions going on.
I'd imagine. Well, you could see it on your face. Yeah, like she said, I've been trying to film a lot of her final holes in tournaments, just so we have that in our archives. And this one, I remember as I was filming it, I was like, man, you can just see the emotions on your face. And if you want to go watch that, it's here on the YouTube channel. You can see kind of toward the middle of our part 2 of our Waco disc golf adventure, and you can see a little bit of what was going down. All right, so if I could get Danny to help me out real quick and grab this box. Danny's behind the scenes.
Is this what they're seeing?
Yep. Yeah, that's nice. Danny, if you want to put that right there. And then I think we still have enough room. Maybe don't need to move those. Thank you, Danny.
Danny, how was that pizza last night? It was good, right?
Where did you have pizza at, Danny?
We went to Brickyard. They got pizza now. They have food.
I know. I need to go there.
They have a full menu.
Is it pretty good?
Yeah, it's really
Nice.
good. Yeah, and Thursday night's karaoke night,
Nice.
and we got to listen to some really bad.
I like some karaoke.
Me too.
I might have to go try that out. All right, so let's get a question in as I get more discs for you. This one's from Blueberry Danish. Blueberry Danish. Woo!
I love blueberry stuff.
Obviously, consistency is a huge factor to the sport that everyone wants to improve on, and Paige already generates an immense amount of power and distance with her drive, but does she feel that she may have peaked in terms of distance she can max out while maintaining control?
I don't think so at all. I just don't think there's any limits on what a human can do. So I may have, for my particular form or disc or whatever, my angles or whatever the case may be, but just have to learn some new tricks and put some more body into it. And I mean, if Simon can do it, I can do it, right?
There you go. Exactly. Exactly. Despite this one from King John Henry, despite your smaller stature, you absolutely crush your distance shots. Your throw is so efficient and seemingly takes advantage of every single ounce of power your body has to give. How would you recommend others achieve this level of efficiency in their throw?
I preach this a lot, so sorry to the people who have heard this before. But I would just say to, first of all, work on your timing and get like your lower body timed up with your upper body. That way all of your body is like one big muscle working together. And that way you can use every ounce of power that you have, like you mentioned in the question. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best way to be the most efficient and powerful, is to get your timing on and just don't ease off at all. Just power right through the shot.
Let's see. Let me find a question. Let's go to YouTube and see if we can find a question that has. Have you ever thought about going to a flick for putts all the time just to change the game up a little? Flick for putts?
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. Just to change the game up. I mean, playing at such a high level, every stroke matters, and it's just, there's a reason that we want to get inside the circle, because once we get close to the basket, we don't have to stand away from our target. We can face right at it. So I wouldn't ever take that out of play, unless you had to, if there's a bush or something.
Gotcha. Travis says, I love watching Paige play. Saw her at Monkey Island this past weekend and didn't realize she was so tiny. God, she can crush. Yes, she can crush it for sure. Let's see. Is the DD van and crew visiting the Beaver State Fling? I don't know that I'll make it out. If
I know J-Ray is going.
J-Ray will be there? Yeah, so J-Ray will be there. I'm sure a lot of our players will be there for sure.
Yeah, I signed up. We were out at a concert the night that sign-ups open, and we all went over to the door, and we all were signing up together. Oh, really? Yeah, it was great. Because Beaver State fills so quick. But I know for sure, me, Eric, Tina, Zach, AJ, Peter, countless team members are playing. So
that's one that's on my my bucket list.
Zoe, Dustin, yeah.
Let's see. How do you like your coffee? Someone just tuning in, wanting to know.
Honestly, I don't discriminate, but if I have a choice, I'll put some hazelnut in there somehow. Little hazelnut creamer or hazelnut flavored coffee, and drink it black.
Brian wants to know, I have always wondered where your pre-throw disc flip thing came about.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep that one.
Part of almost every throw you do.
What was it? Where it came about?
Yeah, your pre-throw disc flip came about.
I don't know where or how, but I somewhere along the way, I like to feel the snap of my wrist and just reinforce that before I putt. Kind of how you go to the end of the tee pad and kind of, feel it when you're driving. It's the same when I'm putting. I just want to feel that snap. But when I do it like this, since my snap is so severe, when I do it like this, the disc kind of comes out a little bit, and I just don't want to
get a stroke against you.
Do a practice stroke. Yeah. So when I do it up, it just is more sturdy in my hand.
So
And it's kind of right on the line of the pole, so I can like see it.
Someone asked a very similar question on Reddit, but then someone followed up with saying that, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. He thought it was horrible because he thought, who else, in whether sport or who else interferes with their line of sight of the disc. He thinks that affects your line because you're looking at the basket and then you flick it in front of your face and now you've lost your line of sight with the basket.
I don't feel like I've ever lost my line of sight. If that was an issue, for sure, I would have stopped it a long time ago. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back to Reddit. How do you throw so far?
Wow, these are so pretty. How?
We got to sell some of them, Paige.
I know. But I can trade them out for some pink ones.
Oh, that's true.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
How do you throw so far?
Oh, I think we kind of just covered that, but I would say the timing and just using your whole body together, just exploding off your back leg with, as a right-handed player, put your body weight on your left leg, like 95% of it, if not more. And then just when that timing comes through and just explode it into the front part of your shot and through the disc.
Gotcha. Country Disc Golf wants to know, you're known for the distance off the tee, but what about accuracy? What is one disc or two that you can pull out and throw without thinking and be confident that you'll land it where you want it to go?
Lucid Convict and any deputy or defender, really. And I think... And it's not like I'm saying those because they have my name on it. That's why I put my name on those, is because I feel very confident with all three of those discs. And like at any given range, that covers putters, fairways, and drivers. They're just very accurate. And, I can have full faith in them anytime I grab them.
Other FPO players have been very vocal about what they feel the women deserve to have in the sport. If you could have or see one thing that every tournament you play that helps, reflects well, or differentiates the women from the men in disc golf, what would it be?
I would say just some more media coverage.
Yeah.
But we are getting, like, in every aspect, we're getting more and more almost every weekend. So it's hard to keep, like, saying, I want more when I feel, at least aligning myself with DD, like we are getting good media. But at tournaments, I think occasionally that the Central Coasts and the Smash Boxes and the Jomez's aren't following us as much because they say that we don't get as many views. So maybe, if you disagree with that, then just watch our videos, share them, tell your friends to watch them, and let's grow those views so that the camera crews want to follow us more and find it more worth it.
What are your thoughts on what do you like the shorter tees for the women?
I don't. Not typically. I think there's a time and a place for them. I think the Vibram Open or Maple Hill does a good job with that. Every short tee that we have on that course makes sense in my mind, but a lot of the ones we've been playing lately don't really make a whole lot of sense. But I might just be biased because I like to grab a driver and just throw it hard.
Gotcha. What was your first major? Whoa, I lost that question. Hold on. What was your first major hurdle when learning how to throw backhand, and how did you overcome it?
I don't remember because it was so long ago for my first hurdle,
Yeah.
I've been throwing since I was like 4. But probably the same as most people's with the nose up release and just throwing it in the air. And I think that just comes from, you got to just throw it flat, keep everything flat, your arm flat, your wrist flat, the disc flat. And how do you overcome any hurdle? Really just repetition and doing it correctly, repeating it over and over and over until it just feels natural.
Excellent. All right, we got a super chat from Wes Warren. Thank you so much for that, Wes. In a bag tag round, in a bag tag round, if someone new to the course that hasn't played it but once throws OB on a hole they didn't know had OB, should they get a re-tee?
In a competition round, you don't really get a second chance. I mean, at that point, it's kind of on them for not being prepared.
And not knowing the course.
Yeah. So,
of course, it's
as bad as that is, that's part of competition. You have to put in your work and learn the course.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables in there. I mean, you've got the TD. Even though it's a bag tag round, hopefully you have somebody that's organized it that could have maybe let people know about certain OBs that maybe you weren't aware of. But no, yeah, I don't think you should be able to do that. Scott, just to keep it real with you, chill out a little bit. These discs have a specific purpose, so we can't sell them right here. These are going to be ready for retailers on April 4th. They'll be sent out to retailers, and then you'll be able to get them shortly after April 4th. So, yeah, we're good to go on that. Let's go back to Reddit. I've heard Sexton commenting that he doesn't get to do much work mid-season beyond some practice rounds. How much practice do you get during the course of the season? During your practice time, what do you prioritize?
I can definitely see what he's talking about there. I still feel like I get practice, but maybe I'm going to guess what he's talking about is like field work, because we don't really get many chances to just like take all of our discs and go out to a field and just, work on angles and stuff like that. But what was the second part of that question?
What do you prioritize when you're out practicing? Yep.
Pretty much like whatever I'm struggling with. If I know I had like one specific issue at, Waco or whatever the last round I played was, I'll go work on that. For me, mostly it's putting, just repeating that stroke so that every time I walk up to a green, I feel confident with the putter.
Excellent. All right, back to Reddit real quick. What music are you listening to these days?
Mostly like R&B. But everything.
Do you have a specific artist that you listen to, or specific, or do you just do like a
Discover Weekly big time? But
on Spotify? Yeah, I like that.
So it always is giving me new artists, but I love Miguel and pretty much everybody.
Maybe we need to have last week we had, or no, was it this week? Yes, it was this week. This has been a long week, hasn't it? Can't believe it's Friday. Anyway, we had Eric. Do you know about the Disc Golf Answer Man Jam, the GAM Jam playlist?
No.
Come on, Paige.
What?
So on Spotify, we have what's called a DGAM Jam, or I call it the GAM Jam, and it's a playlist. So if you like the music that is in our videos and what I put on the podcast sometimes, it's a playlist full of those types of music.
Yeah.
And so last week we had Eric add 5 songs, and so we told people Eric Oakley got to add. So maybe we'll have to have you add a few songs.
Okay.
We'll get that for our Disc Golf Answer Man listeners. So yeah, if you go to Spotify, just search Disc Golf Answer Man, where you can find the podcast and you can find the GAM Jam. It's a playlist. If you like the music that's in our videos or on our podcast, make sure that you follow that playlist and you can jam along with us while you're putting, while you're doing whatever, and have a good time. Let's see. You've never heard. Okay, here's the scenario. You've never heard of disc golf until today.
Okay.
But you're interested.
Okay.
What are your first steps for getting into your local scene from a female perspective?
That's a great question. Luckily we have the internet. Whenever I started, we didn't really have all these forums and Facebook groups and stuff like that. But I would just say, honestly, go to your local course and, when you see a lady, or it doesn't even have to be a lady, like if you see someone that looks like they know what's going on, just go ask them if there's any leagues or ladies forums, and just, talk to people, make connections. That's how the disc golf community is like gotten where it is just like word of mouth, and everybody wants to help each other. So just ask around and try to get into a ladies league. If there's not a ladies league, maybe start one, because I guarantee you're not the only person that's wondering that.
Excellent. So I know it's kind of late, but we've only got a few discs left. But so
this is the last of them.
That's the last stat.
Nice.
So what we have is we're doing a morning coffee with Paige Pierce, and she's signing these sweet Moonshine Burst deputies. These are going to the stores or they'll be available for the stores on April 4th. They'll ship out, and shortly thereafter they'll be available in retail stores. So what this is this is specifically maybe for you, Scott, a little bit. The purpose of these discs is that we like to make sure that our retailers have good stuff to sell. Obviously we love them selling our stuff and we love them to have our products, but we like to give them little incentives to make them feel like we're working for them. And so, we have the buyback program, which allows you to join, and you can, that way allows you, the customer, you go into a buyback store. You have 14 days to try out any of our discs, Dynamic Disc, Westside Disc, Latitude 64. If after 14 days you're not satisfied with that disc, bring back the receipt. Don't mark the disc, bring it back, and we will let you have any other disc you want from any other manufacturers. That's how confident we are that you will like our discs. So for those buyback stores, we do special things like special edition discs, special edition plastics with very popular molds. That way you can kind of have something little to set you apart as a buyback store. But also, just for our retailers, these are going to ship out to our retailers, and that's where you got to go. You got to go into a store that sells our products and grab these sweet Moonshine Burst Deputy discs. So that's what the purpose of these, and of course, they have the little extra coolness to them with having Paige Pierce's signature on that. So make sure if your store is not carrying our stuff, they get to carrying our stuff so they could take advantage of these really cool little incentives that we like to offer from time to time.
Done.
Perfect. Nice, beautiful stack of discs there. You got a couple minutes to go through it, just a couple more questions?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's see. What is your favorite flavor of kombucha?
Oh,
and they've got like a lot of flavors, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it used to be mango passion fruit, but coconut lime is really growing on me. I think that's probably the easiest one to drink too. If you guys have tried kombucha before and it was like a little bitter to you, I would say steer clear of the lemonade ones, the strawberry lemonade and the pomegranate lemonade. Even though they sound very sweet, they're not. Target has, see this one right here? Appleberry. That's a Target exclusive. That's where I find them most often on the road. That one's really good as well, and it's easy to drink.
So what's this one? That's a blueberry?
That's blueberry mint. That's Tina and Eric's favorite. It's good.
What's that
That's
one?
mango passion fruit, second favorite. Strawberry lemonade, lemon ginger.
Original. So
I haven't had that one, actually. I never find that one.
Oh,
I
yeah?
think it's just less common because they want to show off the flavors.
Apple
cinnamon, coconut lime, pomegranate lemonade, and hopped grapefruit. That one's new. I haven't tried that one yet.
Nice. All right. So, yeah, there's your favorite kombucha flavor. Let's go back to who would win in a fight, a taco or a grilled cheese sandwich?
I would say a taco, probably, because I could just eat it.
It would just come on
one.
it? Yeah. I was thinking of grilled cheese. If you have enough cheese, it would melt and just ooze on top of the taco, and then it'd be all over with.
True. But I'm thinking like Texas toast on the grilled cheese, so the cheese wouldn't come out.
That's
the
true.
Bread takes the center stage on that.
I love grilled cheese.
Me too.
Next one, with one of your biggest competitors being...
Can we...
Yeah.
If Robert's not watching...
If Robert's not watching?
Yeah, everybody
What if
just
he is?
ask him about grillches.
Grilled...
Grilch.
Grilled. Okay, yes. Ask him if he'd like to
He
get some
hates
grills.
that.
Yeah, you'll learn the backstory on that. Okay, so the question: with one of your biggest competitors being Hokum and her sidearm dominant form, and you having a backhand dominant form, although you did get the forehand ace at the Rocky Mountain Women's Championship at Purple Park, do you feel relying on one style limits the ability of the top female pros? There are very few top women who are equally strong on both sides, Jessica Weiss being the only one who comes to mind, whereas the men's side sees the majority of high-ranking players throwing both styles interchangeably. Do you have any thoughts on what contributes to this pattern?
I find that quite false, actually. If you watch one of our rounds, I think Katrina will throw 5 sidearms off the tee. I'll throw about 3. Jess doesn't really even throw sidearms very often. I would say about 5 as well off the tee. Lisa throws 5 off the tee. I mean, we all kind of are backhand dominant, I would say. But we do still use the forehand whenever it's necessary. And with the opposite with Hokum, she obviously is sidearm dominant, but I mean, look at Waco. I mean, she threw one on the very last hole with confidence. I mean, it didn't work out, but coming down the stretch of a huge tournament, she relied on a backhand, and she doesn't throw them super often, but when the time comes, I don't think any of us doubt our abilities with the one we are not dominant on.
All right. What are the for you? What are the differences between a Ballista Pro and a Lucid Defender in terms of stability?
Oh, good question. A Lucid Defender, actually pretty close. I would say the Lucid Defender is still a little bit more overstable, and a little bit shorter. The Ballista Pro, you can put quite a bit more power behind and it'll go farther. And it still has that stability at the end, but the Lucid Defender will want to hyzer out quicker.
I like the guy's username. It's Latitude64.
Latitude.
That's pretty good. I'm surprised none of the team players grabbed that. He also posts, his girlfriend asks, I'm currently putting with Mercies, but my long putts, circle, edge, and beyond, tend to hyzer out. Should I switch to a more understable putter like a Deputy? What is more important for you to make your long jump putts?
That's exactly, I don't want to say the problem, but like the question I had whenever I started on DD, I spent so long trying to find a putter just because that same thing, they all feel great in the hand. They all have a good flight, like 25 and in. But once you got farther out, certain ones would hyzer out more so than I would want until I found the Deputy. I would seriously recommend the Deputy if you are worried about hyzering out at long distances. This thing doesn't really hyzer out at all, even when it hits the ground. So there's not a whole lot of play on the ground too. If you do miss, you're not going to get those little rolls or any like sort of ground play. I couldn't speak on the Deputy enough, I think.
We also have what looks to be a new person to disc golf on YouTube. Goes by the name of AJ Risley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he asks, have you ever watched The Notebook? He said he watched it last night, and it's quite a game changer.
Yes, I have watched The Notebook. It is a game changer.
Definitely.
It's a great movie, for sure.
Joseph, best advice for getting the angle right for a good roller?
I think it's hard for me to answer because I'm still not getting the angle right every time.
Yeah.
But I notice when I do, you just have to know your disc and how quick it wants to flip over. It's different with every disc you put down on the ground. And for me, I think rollers are a lot more inconsistent, just because there's so many things that can happen when it gets to the ground. It could hit a little divot, a pine cone, a patch of dirt as opposed to grass. So it's hard to perfect, but I would say just grab a stack of the same disc and take them out to the field and try out different angles, and see which one you get the full flight out of.
Let's see. I lost it. Where'd it go? What is your favorite? Travis wants to know, what is your favorite understable driver and fairway driver?
Understable?
Yep.
I would say, I use the Lucid Deputy as far as like a mid-range would be considered. It goes for days, so it's about the distance as my mids. And for drivers, I would either say the Trespass or the Sheriff for long and hyzers. I know it's not considered like super understable, but they hold the line that you put them on. So if you turn them like this, they'll just keep gliding over.
Wreck Rob wants to know, do you think the Paige Pierce Biodefenders out of the box are more stable than other Biodefenders? If so, was it done like that on purpose for your arm speed?
All Biodefenders are the same stability,
Yeah.
or at least that's the intention. Some, of course, are going to be a little bit inconsistent just because they're, it's a science. But we, like, out of all the companies, we have the most consistent way that we are making the plastic. So they should be all relatively close to the same flight, and I think that's the beauty of it. But yeah, as far as like this run of Deputy compared to one that doesn't have my stamp on it, they're all the same, guys. It's just a stamp on a disc. So that's why I chose the disc. It's just now stamped with my name on it, so they don't fly any differently.
Excellent. Let's see. When are Eric and Tina going to get married?
August 31st,
Yep,
right
in fact,
before Worlds.
You're going, was it this weekend or this weekend to go?
Yeah, we fly out on Sunday.
Okay, to go help Tina get some things figured out in Nantucket. Hey, Paige, Jake asks, what's the best way to unwind after a tough round?
Oh, lately just going in my van and laying down, turning on some music.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just kind of get away?
Yeah, just for a minute, just for 15 minutes or so. Just kind of breathe it out, and even if it's a good round, just go gather your thoughts and think about, assess every shot that you threw. Maybe not every shot, but try to replay your round and see what could have went better and what you did good, and just recap it to yourself.
Do you use used or new putters?
I mean, either really. The Deputy flies so similarly out of the box. So if I see these really pretty ones like this one I just set aside, I might switch to them. But I've been using the same ones for the whole year so far. Yeah.
Excellent. Nick says, so can we agree Backstreet Boys are better than NSYNC? Bobby, please have Paige confirm.
Ooh. I can't confirm that. No.
You like NSYNC over Backstreet?
I mean, maybe not necessarily in sync, but definitely if Justin Timberlake's involved, it's just golden.
Come on. Yeah, JT. I'm better at golf than froth. Does Paige like the name froth or frisbee golf?
I don't really care what it's called. I know a lot of people hate the term froth, or they think that people are discrediting it for some reason. But I think as long as we're getting exposure, who cares what it's called?
That's my thing. Is I hate when people get bent out of shape, because if I happen to be talking to somebody and I'll say, "Oh yeah, he was playing ball golf." Well, it's not ball golf.
Yeah.
We don't call it ball for broth at ball golf.
It's.
To me, it's chill out. I'm just trying to differentiate when I'm talking to you, so it's not that big of a deal. And like you said, who cares? As long as people are talking about it, getting out. Once they really get into it, okay, they'll figure it out.
They can call it whatever they want.
Yeah, they'll call it. And So anyway, how much time do you think about disc golf off the course?
Oh, I mean, it comes and goes for sure. There's some days where I just want to just not think about it at all and kind of hit a little refresh button. But there's other days where I can't play maybe, and I'm just sitting there pretending I'm throwing in the middle of a grocery store or something. Yeah, I don't know if I could limit it to a time, but it definitely comes and goes in waves big time.
Excellent. Let's see. Any clinics at Bowling Green AMS this year?
I am not positive if I'm going to be there yet. I was intending to go to the Texas Women's and do a clinic there that same weekend, but we're talking about maybe changing that plan. But
now Caleb asked about how you feel about the upcoming Jonesboro Open. Now you're actually not playing Jonesboro.
No,
because you'll be helping Tina plan out the wedding, correct?
Yeah. So the tournament starts on the morning of the 5th, and we get back from Nantucket on the 5th. So we're going to be at Jonesboro, but we're going to miss the first day. Hence, we're not going to be playing. But we're going to go out there and watch all the guys and cheer them on, and the girls, of course.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Paige is done signing her discs, and we're going to let her go get about her day. We've got. Oh wait, someone said something about Torchy's tacos. We have to discuss this. No, actually, JP3 discing and stuff. Oh. If you could make your own Torchy's taco, what's in it?
I really love the Mad Cow. It's on the secret menu. But
what's on the Mad Cow?
It's I don't actually know what the meat is, but it's incredible.
It's like beef or chicken?
It's beef for sure. It's wait,
I think it's the one that Tina Tina likes it a lot too?
I think I might have talked her into loving that one.
And then she told me. Mm-hmm. I think she told Eric, and Eric Oakley ordered it, and then he told me to order it. Did it have beans on it?
Yeah, it has this black bean puree kind of thing, mm-hmm. and corn, cojita cheese. Is that how you say that?
Sure.
Cojita.
Cojita.
And cilantro and corn tortilla. That is a must for sure. No matter what kind of taco I'm getting, it's corn tortilla. But yeah, something with that queso on it.
Did you know they have one in Tulsa?
No, but they have one in Plano they have two in Plano right by my house.
Right. I guess you don't go through Tulsa a lot when people travel through. I'm just excited because a lot of times we go visit my family in Parsville, and Tulsa's only 45 minutes away. So anyway, okay, so now we get back to closing things up. So we've got these sweet deputies. We'll take a quick look at them. We've got some pink ones. some turquoise or seafoam green, some people call it. These beautiful moonshine bursts. And then we've got a nice, really sky bluish blue going on here. Really good stuff. So Paige Pierce just signed a bunch of these. She signed a bunch yesterday, but we saved a few for this coffee morning with Paige Pierce signing session. Morning coffee. Anyway, these are going to be available for retailers April 4th. They're going to ship out. So make sure if you're a store owner or if you know one, let them know that these will be available. Get them in your store so that shortly after April 4th, they will be available for people to purchase in your store. This will coincide with the release of the stock stamp Captain and stock stamp Maverick. And actually today is the release day for the first run Maverick and Captain, the classic soft deputy.
Sweet.
And the Fusion Burst Criminal is going to be released today at 11 a.m. Central. Huh?
Fusion
Not
Burst.
Criminal, Convict. My apologies.
Ooh,
Thank
let's
you,
go
Danny,
check those babies out.
So Fusion Burst Convict will be released. Actually, Danny, do you I think, can you grab those two that you put in my office and we'll let Paige check them out and talk about them real quick? Yeah. We've got
Fusion
a
Burst. Is the burst in the Fusion supposed to be more or less stable? What do we know?
I haven't really thrown it up.
It was actually more stable than I expected.
Really?
Danny thought Fusion Burst Convict was a little more stable than he expected. So let's take a look at that beauty. So that Fusion has that really nice slick feel. Well, I like the Fusion over the Lucid, but that's just me. But that's a Fusion Burst. So tell us what should we like about the Convict?
Well, in Fusion Burst, I'm not positive yet, but the Convict in general as a mold, it's just it's a versatile fairway driver that you can put on whatever angle you want and it'll push forward on said angle. Doesn't have a whole lot of move left to right, so it kind of shoots like a mid-range. But we got to get Boss in here.
There's Jeremy Rusko. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't want to be on video.
Danny's gonna go get it. He's shy.
No.
Yeah, so for me, like just strictly on feel right now, this feels a little bit softer than the Lucid. So it's probably got a little bit more play and probably a little bit more understable than the Lucid. But if you want a little bit flippier of a Convict, I would say this is it. But I don't know 100% because I haven't thrown it yet. I'm just talking about how it feels.
And then, of course,
have you thrown one?
No. You need to throw one today.
I'm going to for sure.
And then we have the releasing today again at 11 a.m. Central is the classic soft burst deputy. Of course, you know that Paige likes to putt with the deputy, but obviously it's different because it's soft.
Yeah.
So, I would assume you haven't even thrown that to see what it flies like.
Yeah, in general, softer putters are going to be more forgiving, like off the basket. So if you miss but you still hit metal, you won't get as much of a bounce off.
Okay.
They just kind of hit and stop. And same with the ground. They just kind of sit where they hit. Sit where they hit.
Is that a song?
So, I mean, if it flies anything like the rest of my deputies that I bag all of, the Primes, going to be the Moonshine, the Lucid, and the Classic Hard, it's going to be very straight and very, very accurate as far as where you release it. That's where it's going to go.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll get Jeremy to come in and say hi real quick and bye real quick as we wrap up this morning coffee with Paige Pierce. Thanks again for joining us. One more time if you missed it, these are Moonshine Burst Deputies, all signed by Paige Pierce. They come in these sweet burst colors. They'll be available April 4th. They'll ship out to retailers, and then they'll be available shortly after that in the retail stores. So make sure you pick it up. If your store does not carry our brands, you need to make sure they know to get our brands so they can take advantage of these special little incentives that we like to offer. And we have more people walking in on morning coffee with Paige Pierce.
Special delivery.
Oh, special delivery.
Can I do a little shout out to
Absolutely.
Amanda's? This is off topic, but when you guys are in town,
we are now going to broadcast morning cinnamon roll with Paige Pierce.
okay.
Good Lord, look at that cinnamon
If you
roll.
guys could smell through this camera, your mind would be blown right now, and my mouth is watering. If you can,
Whose are
see
these?
that. Those are for the warehouse.
Oh yeah, that's right. Just the two of them?
No, I'm not gonna eat any. I'll save them.
I'm finna.
I'm about to go there for lunch, probably.
Oh, really?
Probably. Okay, but seriously, and this is part of what makes GBO so awesome and what makes Emporia the place to be. But whenever we have, what is it, 1,600 people, right?
Going to be just a little over 1,600 people.
Over 1,600.
No, okay, wait.
Jeez.
Over 1,600 competitors.
Oh, right.
That doesn't include
probably like
their
2,000.
family and friends that are coming to town.
Yeah, because I got like 7 family members. So think about how many people are bringing family. There's going to be over 2,000 people for sure, I would bet. But yeah, so when you guys come to Emporia, support your local businesses that support the GBO and just disc golf in general. That's like one of the coolest parts when you come here is like seeing all the billboards that say welcome disc golfers and Amanda's,
gooey that is.
aka where we just got these cinnamon rolls. And if you want something that's not fast food, they have the best lunch ever. Little sandwiches, soups, paninis.
And my understanding is now, maybe you change it up this week, but every time she comes here, she goes to lunch there. What, every day? Yeah, every day.
Also on Fridays, they always have cinnamon rolls, cookies, and this like ultimate brownie thing she makes. But every Friday they have a new dessert. So I'm about to go check out what she's got today.
So why we're having this is...
Did you see?
We may have mentioned it, but Paige Pierce being the really awesome team player, and she understands that everybody here works hard. She was she put in to have these cinnamon rolls delivered to here to the warehouse. And I'm about to... delivered by Robert.
Did you have them delivered?
Yeah,
Well, I was going to go pick them up, but we were live, so I couldn't.
You delivered them, didn't you, Robert?
Well, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
You made it sound like they just called someone at the shop.
Just bring this over, man. So I'm going to try one real quick.
No, but check YouTube it.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
not YouTube.
So good.
Yelp it or Google Maps it because she doesn't have a great sign, so nobody really knows about it. Little hidden gem.
If you like soft, gooey cinnamon rolls, this is it. This is heaven right now.
Is it warm?
Nice one.
Okay, I'll have some.
So, okay.
All right, Roscoe.
Roscoe, come on over here and say hi to everybody real quick. We got about...
Here, take my spot.
Oh, gosh. Maybe you want to eat.
Come on over.
So I got to say, I was...
They can't hear you.
Oh.
You got to get into the microphone.
Talking to the microphone.
Oh my God, it is warm.
Isn't that good?
Oh, here.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I was on the phone with them on the way over here. They're like, "Oh, it's so exciting! We get to listen to Paige and Bobby this morning." And
Actually, I just went out to lunch with Donna and Clark at Amanda's. Yes, 2 days ago.
I'm getting in on that cinnamon
Yeah.
roll here in a minute. How about this weather in Emporia? Are we ready for some disc golf today? It's cold now.
probably.
It's going to get warmer. It's
Bobby
going
and I are
it's
about
going to
to
be
go.
nicer.
Actually, can we give them a sneak? Like what we're doing today?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go shoot a video on the Classic Blend Marshall, which I know is also one of Resco's favorite discs, right? Classic Blend.
Yep, that's
too,
what
right?
I'm putting with right now.
Yeah. I absolutely love that disc. And I asked Bobby if we could shoot a video just showing how great it is because I think it needs some more credit.
I agree. You've been using that on your like dry putting, throwing off the tee, approach shots, right?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. If you see me throwing a yellow putter or a red putter, but it changes often. It's a Marshall, a Classic Blend Marshall. It just goes so straight. And anytime I'm throwing the Deputy, it'll go straight for 90% of its flight. And this is the Lucid Deputy. It'll go straight for 90% of its flight, and then the last 10% it'll kind of fade off to the right. So if I want it to just continue straight or maybe even a tiny bit left, it's the Marshall instead.
These are sweet.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
Did you guys mention these are going to be in the collector sleeves? So they're going to be that much more special.
Awesome. Oh, we had a guy on here, Scott, correct? Yeah. Bobby had to
What's
tell
up,
him but he just wanted to make sure he wanted
well.
not through wholesale.
We just want to support our retail stores that much more and make sure that we can help drive traffic into retail stores across the country. And that's just one of our efforts to provide more for the disc golf retail stores across the country. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just because they're not available online right now doesn't mean they won't ever be.
Yeah, correct.
If there's a big demand, Resco makes it happen.
Did you get rider's cramp doing all these signatures this week?
I did, yeah. The other day.
Did Robert
Not
get
to-
Robert's
not this morning.
rider's cramp tally and everything?
More than 5 discs a week to get right.
Are you coming out tonight for our staff stuff, or do you
tags?
got
I think so, yeah.
more important things to do?
I think so. Well,
How cool is
every
that?
night we've been painting Beth's house, but I think she came home sick yesterday from school, so we might not be painting tonight. What time is it?
5:30.
5:30, yeah.
We're going out to New Life Christian Church, which is a fun little 9-hole course, having our staff, having doubles. I'm probably going to get paired up with Paige. No, Robert, no, it can't. No. Yeah, random draw doubles. Going to have some burgers and brats and
Oh, yeah.
s'mores afterwards.
Your
and
dad said he's cooking brats.
Friday beverages and good times, good weather.
It's okay. This is casual. All right, Robert, your turn.
What, am I supposed to?
Yep. Say something.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
They want to see the hair.
I see the hair. Do they want to?
It's It's 9 o'clock now. How long has the hair been looking like that? Since 8 or what?
About 8:15.
8:15. Cool. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. Be dynamic.
Are you hopping off so that you can eat cinnamon rolls?
No, it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
only 2 chairs, so.
Thanks for the cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, but I do want to get this thing before
I'm done. I know I'm done. Huh?
I'm about to eat some of this while we're here.
Go for it.
Take them over to the
To the retail store?
no, like to the break room or
Yeah, I took him over there.
that one's mine.
Hayden wants to know, why
That
does no
one's
one
mine.
like Robert?
Oh, dude, hateful.
We all love Robert.
Hayden, here's what happens sometimes. When you're just, like I try to be nice to most people that I see, and then some people see that and they're like, you know what? We're gonna be mean to him. That's what Bobby does.
Anyway, so we're joined by Robert McCall, the third man on Disc Golf Answer Man. Now it's starting to feel like we are doing a Disc Golf Answer Man.
Yep.
But actually, let's see, we're hitting at about 52 minutes, so we'll make this an hour-long episode.
Nice.
So if you got any real quick questions, Bobby, do the goat noise. That was from the video that Tina put out.
Oh, I heard it.
Do I think the cinnamon roll hyzer?
Kurt,
No.
we would literally never throw one of these ever.
No.
Because they're made of gold.
I know. So, and plus, yeah, they wouldn't last long enough to see if they can hyzer. So if you've got real quick questions, we've got about 6 minutes left. That way we can wrap up. This is an hour-long show. If you have any questions for Robert, put it in the YouTube comments there. Any plans for Easter? Someone asks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be going to church on Sunday, eating some lunch, and then probably playing disc golf if it's nice outside.
There you go.
live. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
They don't want it to stop. It's a lot of viewers.
Love it if you guys would road trip up to St. Charles, Minnesota.
Dude,
Minnesota.
I'd go to Minnesota, not right now, but at some point.
Why would you go right now?
No, wouldn't go right now. It's cold. Snow.
Oh, is it really? Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
snow,
go anywhere.
man.
Yes, Paige is going to go live on her.
Live on Facebook.
You should be able to. Okay. Dude, I love Robert and haven't met him. Haha, such a funny guy.
Thank you.
That talks with his mouth full. I can find it tense times during tournament play that my mental game can turn negative. How do you keep your mental game strong when in tense tournament times or when your game just isn't on?
It's a super good question. Tense tournament time mentality. I like to just try and refocus and maybe treat my next set of holes just as a new course. Just say the last holes are behind me. No big deal. Get them out of here. Starting over. The best thing that you can do on the course too is to only look forward to your next shot, right? Like all the previous shots are past you. You can't think about anything else. You can't think about how many you'll have to throw in order to shoot a different score. Just think about your next shot.
Excellent. And eat cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, definitely.
Best pizza in Emporia.
Best pizza in Emporia. It's probably coming from Radius.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Robert, what's your favorite stamp foil? And if you could design one, what would it be? Ooh, what would you want in a foil?
Stamp foil. I don't know. So this kind of, this isn't quite the green that I really like. I like more of a little bit more teal than this. Yeah. And it's hard to tell on the camera, but I really like teal and like that would transition to white. That we have one that's like blue that transitions to white, and that's pretty cool. It looks kind of icy. Yeah. I'm not super picky on foils as long as they're not ugly. So
ugly is not good.
Yeah, that's right.
What overstable mid-range would you recommend for a forehand? My EMAC truth seems to turn over when I throw it forehand.
You might try a Verdict. That's going to be a step up more stable than an EMAC Truth. Sorry, more overstable than an EMAC Truth. You might also try one of the new Latitude 64 Fujis. That's coming out here in the next little bit. And then if you really want something that will definitely never flip over on you unless you roll your wrist, Justice.
Excellent. You guys putting in any new courses? As a matter of fact, Eric McCabe is in California right now. I'm not sure what stage they are at as far as the course development, but he is out there doing some course design work for sure. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's basically what he does all day every week is figure out where to put
every week.
All day every week he puts out courses. No, he figures out things, talks to people about different courses. Is the Pocono Raceway still on in September? P.S. My Lucid Pink Bobby Signature Series discs has been flying.
Hey.
Very true. Very good. Thank you for buying that Bobby Signature Series disc. I'm not sure what that is. Pocono Raceway. Is he doing it again? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
That's Mr. Disc Golf Mike Salt. You can probably see what he's doing at MrDiscGolf.com. All right, we've got a couple more minutes. Can we get a McCall Warden?
Heck yeah, but I got to get good at something first, and then we can get it. Maybe a Dimax or something at some point.
That would be fun.
Maybe a nice hair stamp. Who knows? The possibilities are basically endless.
Endless with Dimax.
But also they're like...
Maybe we need to put out a canine series with Walter, Sebastian, and Ralph, and now Maverick, now that Denise and
Maverick
Eric
pup.
have a new... what kind of dog is it? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? Looks like we don't have any more questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up for the fourth time. This has been Morning Coffee with Paige Pierce. Again, real quick, we've got some Moonshine Burst deputies that are being sent out to stores April 4th. You'll be able to purchase them over there. And make sure you are ready for today's 11 a.m. Central new release Friday from Dynamic Discs. We have the Fusion Burst Convict, the Classic Soft Burst Deputy, the first run stamped Captain and Maverick, and then some apparel. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you Disc Golf Benchman, regular time. We're going to try something new. Maybe something new.
Oh.
We're going to go live.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Did you not watch Community? Have you not watched Community before? Or like very first on Instagram, I said Troy and Abed in the morning when you were talking about like a theme song for the morning.
Okay.
But it's from Community, and Paige didn't know what it was from. And you
I didn't know
what it was from, and so. No, it was going to be awesome.
I'm sorry.
I missed it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We didn't make that.
Finish the show.
No, we didn't make
Finish
that
the
connection. So anyway,
Sad.
Tune in. We're gonna try the 1:30 p.m. Central on Tuesday. We're gonna go live here on YouTube with the Disc Golf Answer Man. Have some fun with that. Until then, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Get out there and play disc golf. Good morning, good night, and good. What does he say?
And as always, be dynamic.
Be dynamic.